Please, I'm asking you for help. Please.
Well, we all caught that wonderful, absolutely wonderful debut of Happy Corbin. He is now a reality, and he is glorious. But it was just a few weeks back where Baron Corbin was asking for money from both the WWE Universe and his fellow superstars in the locker room, with pretty much everyone telling him to go you-know-what himself. However, in reality, there have been many times in the past where WWE Superstars have actually come forward and helped out their co-workers in need. Here are 5 times that WWE Superstars financially supported fellow wrestlers. Let's start off with number 5, the boss himself, and Ric Flair. There are very few stars who have always been on the good books of the WWE Chairman, and despite his recent release from the company, the 2-time Hall of Famer has always been one of those guys. He has noted that Vince McMahon has been there to help him out a few times. As part of an appearance on the Stone Cold podcast back in 2016, Flair recalled a time when Vince McMahon loaned out $800,000 as the Nature Boy was heavily in debt. But he was able to give it back in the long run. Now, the WWE Chairman reportedly told Flair back then he wouldn't even lend out this much money to his own children. Flair, though, would later receive one of his biggest paychecks ever following his match with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 24, and he gave it right back to Vince. Number 4, Yokozuna helping out Rikishi. Now, Yokozuna, we all know, a larger-than-life character that was taken away from this world way too soon. The former WWE Champion not only made a name for himself in the wrestling world during his run in the ring, but when he was with WWE, he also made a name helping out several of his fellow stars. One of these stars, fellow Hall of Famer Rikishi, who noted in a recent docu-series that when he was in dire need of money, Yokozuna was there. Rikishi said that Yoko was making a ton of money back in the day, and when Rikishi needed him, he handed him a blank check and signed it. Of course, Rikishi would go on to find success later on in life, and as noted, the big guy, not the only WWE superstar that was helped out by Yokozuna. This was a giant man with a huge heart and was known to be very charitable with his income. Number 3, CM Punk. CM Punk. CM Punk helping out Joey Mercury. While working with WWE years ago, CM Punk was aligned with Joey Mercury as part of the Straight Edge Society, an idea that the former world champion put forward in order to help out his friend. As part of Punk's Best in the World documentary, it was revealed that Mercury was struggling with alcohol and drug problems, which led to his release from the company. Punk then stepped in to help out his friend when his house was foreclosed on by buying the property and then loaning him some money to get by. And then on top of that, Punk also convinced WWE to bring back the former tag team champion and make him part of the Straight Edge Society so that he had a regular source of income. Mercury continued to work for the WWE for several years following Punk's departure or being released in January of 2017. Stop me if you've heard or seen anything to make you think otherwise. John Cena is a really good dude, and he comes in at number 2. Former WWE superstar Aiden English revealed on his YouTube channel that when he was part of a segment with AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, Rusev, and the Usos ahead of WrestleMania 34, they decided to have a little bit of fun. That fun led to the company fining them for $88,000. According to English, it was not Chairman Vince McMahon or Triple H, but other backstage producers and talent relations staff. Apparently, they were told that their super kick party with the referee being involved during a SmackDown Dark match buried the business, and they were threatened with releases and fines, among other things, believe it or not. In fact, even the referee was reportedly under the bus and got fined as well. Now, WWE did not reduce the hefty fine in any way, but the 7 talents were not left alone in paying off that $88,000. It was at this time that the 16-time world champion John Cena stepped in and decided to help out his fellow superstars. After the interview was released, English revealed on Twitter that Cena paid the fine on their behalf. And number 1, Cincinnati's favorite son, Jon Moxley, helping out several talents during the pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic obviously caused a lot of financial damage to several wrestling promotions and their talent all across the world. Independent promotions were unable to run shows for more than a year, and this left many promoters and superstars without any source of income. Several wrestlers then set up GoFundMe pages in the hopes that this would help keep them afloat throughout this time of uncertainty. Even though Jon Moxley wanted to keep it under wraps, it was reported by the Wrestling Observer that the former WWE and AEW World Champion donated to several of these pages in order to help out. He did so with no fanfare, no attention seeking whatsoever. He just wanted to be there for his fellow workers, and that was a very cool thing to do.